young hoopers, hey, you got a better chance of jumping out of a helicopter and landing on 2 feet than making it to the NBA.
You would be an all-star. I'm seeing third options in there. I'm seeing, guys who are superstar players getting snubbed.
European
I'm
model
interested to hear this
versus
from you.
American model.
We teach skills, they teach the game. No one's teaching us how to play the game, how to backdoor, how to slip out of screens.
Bars low.
Yeah, anybody can be an EYBL coach.
The Heat didn't make any moves. So we were thinking we were going to get Giannis. Are we like trapped in being mediocre? You think this summer, movement heavy summer for the Heat? Hey, welcome to another episode of The Crossover. I'm one of your co-hosts, Keon Dooling. That right there is my main man, 10-Day Tony.
Come on, talk to him.
24-hour Tony.
Come on, talk to him.
Whatever you want to call him. And man, today we got a very special guest, one of the best player development trainers on the planet.
Yes,
and I'm
sir.
not just going to say domestically, but on the planet. We got my brother, my friend, Coach Stan Remy.
Yes,
Remy,
sir.
welcome
Yes,
to
sir.
the crossover.
Appreciate
Thank you
y'all.
for taking
Appreciate y'all.
time out of your busy schedule.
Yes, sir.
Champ, I know things are really about to pick up for you. So a little bit of a backdrop. If you don't know who Stan Remy is, Stan Remy was not only my closest best friend growing up, but he also was my trainer, right? And we started this basketball journey together, and we've been bonded by this game for so long. And I've seen Stan go from a 19-year-old college hooper to one of the most elite trainers where you have superstars, all-stars, international players, WNBA players, high school, college, youth, across the board. They come to see this man when they want to work on their game.
Right.
So Rimbim, real quick, man, All-Star Week is approaching. We have some conversations that we want to have about All-Star Weekend.
Right.
But how's the gym going to be looking? How's Remy Workouts in Medley, Florida? How is it going to be looking during All-Star Weekend? How many NBA guys will you have in there getting work in while nobody's watching?
Well, All-Star Weekend is something, especially when your guys actually make the All-Star game. It's such a, great thing to do. And for me, I sacrificed during that time, and I created something called Remy Workouts All-Star Break Tuna. Right? I instead of going to the game and enjoying the perks and enjoying the, festivities, I rather cater to the people that didn't make it, right? Like it's more players that didn't make the All-Star game that make it. So I created the All-Star Break Tune-Up where everybody comes to Miami and we literally just fine-tune, we get better, we watch film, we take care of our bodies, they lift, they, kind of like a readjustment, especially the guys that's been with me all summer. It's like we reconnect, get them back on, feeling good, comfortability, things like that, get them back in rhythm. So you have close to between, 12 and 20 guys that come down here literally. Yep.
Yeah, the runs are elite down there. We need to
We
bring
need to
some
pull up.
cameras down there and pull up.
This
Get some
summer,
content
you gotta get
out
some
of that,
content.
man. I think that'd be super, super dope. Speaking of like the All-Star, so I'm gonna be honest. I don't think that the best players are getting put in the All-Star game anymore. I think that they're factoring in so many other things out, like if your team is winning, or if you're like if you're it's more of a team achievement for some guys and then an individual achievement for other guys.
Right.
I know coming up in the 80s, it didn't matter what team you were on. Just because you were on the Bulls doesn't mean you would be an all-star. Right. And I'm seeing third options in there. I'm seeing, guys who are superstar players getting snubbed, and they're killing and they're having a great year. So kind of what's your thoughts just on like what is an all-star now? Like, should it be the best players or should it be the best players from the best teams that get the all-star nod?
Well, I feel like if you're an all-star, you have to impact winning. So, and if you're not good if you're not impacting winning. You can be good individually, but what makes you an all-star, next level guy, is when you impact winning, right? And then there's some guys that just not gifted enough to be on the best teams, right? Their teams are not that good, but they're really good, right? So I think that their body of work should be able to push them through. Where the conflict comes is when we over reward winning. Like we might take 3 players off of a number 1 seed, right? I feel like that third player, he probably shouldn't.
Right.
When you got a last place team where a guy like the guy from the Brooklyn Nets,
Michael Porter Jr.
Like
put in work
for
this
me,
year.
I feel like you reward something like that, right? To be able to stay locked in and stay consistent when your team is not winning. You're around a bunch of young guys, right? You have championship pedigree. So like I feel like he should have been rewarded for what he's doing.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
It's tough, man, because there's so many good players, especially the way that they formatted everything, right? With the world, you have to have 8. The parameters of it now, you have to have 16 players from the United States, 8 players from out of the country. But then you start looking, it's like, all right, well, we're gonna take Cat because he's Dominican, we're gonna put him over. Norm, he's Jamaican, so we're gonna put him over, right? So it's like things like that where you start looking around and being like, all right, well then what are we really doing, right? Because James Harden, last I checked, one of the best players in the league.
Game.
Where is he? In Cleveland, right?
Kawhi.
Like Kawhi, they did backdoor Kawhi in now.
Okay.
So he's in now.
Yeah,
but
he should have been, no question.
He's having the best spurt of his career.
Yeah. You know, I think that sometimes the body of work overrides like whatever your criterias are. He is one of the best players in the NBA by far this season.
What do you feel about guys like Denny Avia, who's been a dog this season too? Like he's been very good. But then Pascal Siakam, who you know is a good player, but the Pacers are terrible.
Yeah, like you could have went it a lot of different ways for Pascal. Now, and it's no disrespect to him. I think he brings both sides of the ball, right? It's tough. Like you got guys that are actually winning at that, and I think his body of work, you know, it's some guys that surpasses that. So I don't think that it's tough because I hate to say, hey, you're not an all-star. I think he is an all-star, but I think there were some better choices.
Yeah,
that's all.
Yeah.
The bigger conversation that we were having, me and Katie, a couple of episodes ago, were the dynamic between the infrastructure over in Europe being kind of more of like an academy style, where you get kids, or you got a kid who's 8, 9, 10 years old, who's almost 6 foot, and you're like, okay, hold on, like we could do something with this.
Right.
You get them in young, and you start growing them from there.
Right.
Where it's a much more professional setup over there in Europe versus what we got over here, which is, all right, we're going to play AAU ball, we're going to play high school, we're going to play prep ball, we're going to play college. Like that. What's your take on the systems in place, European model
interested to hear this
versus
from you.
American model?
Well, I feel like, for one, in America, right, when we first started, it wasn't so many basketball skills guys, right, like myself. It wasn't so many of them, right? Now there's a fluctuate of them. Like anybody can become it, right? I feel like it should be a criteria to
It's like you got an IG page, you got it.
Yeah, facts. Like your friend is an NBA player, you just rebounded for him, you took a picture with him, you're a trainer now, right? So like it's crazy. So like I feel like the difference, right? I think that we teach skills, they teach the game. You understand that? So like I think you need them both. But here's the thing. I can have all the skills in the world. If I can't play the game, I'm going to struggle. But if I can play the game, I can always come here and learn the skill.
Right.
That's why they catapult when they come here, because they're getting 2 for 1. We're only getting 1 for 1. Like you got to think. Look at the people that's coaching EYBL. It's like a friend, or like the criteria to coach the best players in the world has no criteria.
But the bar is low.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, think about it. Like, anybody can be an EYBL coach. Like, if I have this kid, I've known him, he's my cousin, he's one of the best players. Hey, you coach it, no problem. It's no, hey, what have you done? What is your level? Have you coached high school? You know what I mean? It's no criteria. So I think that they're learning how to play the game, and then they come over here and then they work with our trainers too. So for us, we just train, and no one's teaching us how to play the game, how to backdoor, how to slip out of screens, the pace, right? Like no one's teaching us that, like that. Like it doesn't happen often, I should say, right? There's some people that understand the game and they're teaching it, but I think for the mass, I think that's the difference. They're learning how to play, and then they come here and they learn the skill. Now that catapults them over us. Yeah. You know what I mean? Sometimes.
You see where a guy like Jokic, second round guy, nobody really thought about him. Right. His drafting was during the Taco Bell commercial. It's like, all right, they got a 35th pick. All right, Nikola Jokic. All right, whatever. Then all of a sudden, he got into the system in Denver, and they're like, oh, wait a second. Hold up. This guy, there's something to this guy. Right. They sent Nurkic over to, I think, Portland at that time. Yep. And it was like, all right, no, this is our guy. And everybody's like, this guy for real? He looks like doughy, whatever. And then fast forward, 8 years later, he's the best player on the planet.
Right.
It's like,
yeah. I mean, look, evaluating talent is different, and the game has shifted.
Right.
One thing I think America, we've always kind of stood on is capitalism, right? And there's a business of basketball, that has produced and given exposure, you know what I mean, to a lot of individuals. And, you know, some of the individuals who put us in position maybe didn't have the credentials, but they might have had the network. For sure, right? For sure, and man, I think it's difficult to learn how to play the game when there's so many options where you just like can change teams or change your environment. Like a lot of times we had to like stick with it. We had to develop like, you know, stick-to-itivism. And we had to like learn how to be coachable, and we had to learn how to deal with adversity.
You had to push through.
Yep. Now, you know, I still transferred in high school, but I couldn't transfer in the middle of the season and go play. Right. I couldn't transfer until the rules really allowed me to play because I didn't want to sit out that year. I think it puts a lot more accountability on like coaches and development people and teams and organizations to be better, right? To be better in communication, to have better infrastructures, to really, you know, like take pride in American basketball and the people whose shoulders that you stand on. So I'm still, you know, very encouraged about like the American basketball players. 100%. I still think we're the best on the planet. And I'm so thankful for our international brothers coming through to help us grow the game. I had a lot of great international teammates, and, you know, we're benefiting from having them in our league, but I will not let anyone minimize like hoopers in the States.
They've been trying to.
Facts.
To your point, obviously, one of my favorite European teammates that you've had, I love him to death.
Turk.
We talk about all the time.
Turk was,
that dude.
He was beyond his years. He was tall. He could play pick and roll. He can pass.
Yes.
He was really tall. Like he was like 6'10".
For sure.
He was big as hell,
yeah. And I think, to go back to the other point, I think what's the main issue is overseas they practice. We play, right? So AAU has become the major thing now, and not high school basketball. AAU, bro, you fly into a city, you're meeting your teammates in the lobby for the first time. There's no continuity, right? So everyone's out there like it's a pickup game, or I'm gonna show you I'm better than you, right? So like it's no togetherness, right? So like in high school basketball, you practice 6 to 7 days a week. So if this is not the main focus anymore, and travel is, they're like, man, I got to get out of here so I can get to my circuit team or where they just let me play. And guys, and then the leaders or the coaches are so scared to lose guys, they're not coaching them hard, right? So that's another big thing. I think like they're overseas and they're learning the game, they're practicing, they're going over certain things. Like they value that part of it, and we don't value that part. I think it's going to be very tough for them to catch us because we're faster, we're more athletic. Sometimes, like playing the game the right way, you just can't teach somebody just having a 50-inch vertical, right? You understand what I'm saying?
You can't teach Steph.
You can't teach that. And you know, I think that we play with a different type of edge, right? I think that, you know, our physicality.
Do you think the rules, have a negative impact on American players because we can't necessarily play with that kind of dog and physicality anymore?
100%.
It does.
Yes, I think that's a way of trying to give them more of a chance to be able to
equalize it a
little bit. And it's like you said, it's a business, right? We want to make sure that these guys have an opportunity to still be competitive out there, because if we were allowed to grab and hold and hand check like we did before, a lot of these guys will be in some major trouble.
One thing that he said that was very true is over there it feels like more of a team sport. Where over here is, how can I get my stats? Because I need to be better than the next man, right? I'm not playing for the next man next to me. I'm playing for me. And then hopefully we could do something together because we're all so talented. And I feel like the social mediaification of everything kind of turned everything off to we're playing a team sport, right? Last time I checked, there's 5 guys on the court. We're all working in unison. The way I was taught 2-3 is we all got a string attached to each other and we're rotating, right? And it just doesn't feel like this is a team sport anymore. It's like, what can I put on Instagram? What can I put on TikTok? What can make me the most famous of my teammates that I can get a coach to see me, or I can, get to the league. But now I can go back to college if I don't like playing in the league. Like, that whole thing is crazy to me. Did you see that, Stan? Like, how's that been for you? Like, growing up in the way that you and KD grew up, where it was like high school, college, pros? If I'm in the pros, why am I looking back and going like, oh, you know what? I can go play at Louisiana Tech for a little bit, like and try to get my game back.
I was about to call Keon and say, hey, listen, man, I'm thinking about getting back in shape. You know what I mean?
You know, I did leave as a sophomore. Do I still have 2 years of eligibility?
Like you could be an NBA All-Star. 2 more years, I'll come back and then come back again. Like that. They got to put a little bit of some
parameters around that.
They have to.
They have to put some more into this.
They have to, but it takes a deep structural dive.
Right.
And I think a lot of the reason why American basketball and its development isn't where it really needs to be, the system, is because that the NCAA has been so exploitive in how they, create the rules, right?
Right.
And I think see, we don't talk about the international players. They're getting paid when they go play with their club teams, when they start
at
getting
16, 15, 14 years
16
old.
years old, right? And, there's so many barriers of entry, like even for our great players. Like you work with Kendrick Nunn, who's played overseas. There's a lot of guys who you deal with. You have European balls, FIBA balls in your gym because you train a lot of the international players.
For sure.
And I just think that the system, if it's going to really work, we have to take a real comprehensive look. And we have to stop being so exploitive, you know what I mean, to our players.
Right.
Right? Because, people are too aware now of their value, right? And so, now, because the rules allow them to have options, it's rare for you to see, players walk in their power here.
For sure.
And I think it's a dope thing. I think that's how you kind of really create a good system or to continue to be the Wild Wild West.
For sure. And I think another thing, we chase rankings here for some reason. Like, who's the number 1 player in the country? Who's this? Who's that? I don't even think they even care about stuff like that, right? So, social media allows you to, kind of see what that number 1 player in the country is doing or top 5, and they try to mimic it, and it becomes that, right? I'm chasing that instead of chasing understanding how to play, understanding how to do the intangibles, how to defend, how to take charges, how to stunt. The
little things.
Those type of things, I think, take you over the edge when you're an elite basketball player. Not just being elite, because too many of our American players, they rely on whether they're scoring to determine if they're having a good or bad game.
Talk to him.
So
that's the only metric it feels like.
If they're not scoring, their body language is bad, they become uncoachable, right? They stop defending. They're getting backdoored. They don't care about doing the little things where over there, I'm pretty sure they're saying, hey, you're not athletic. You're not fast. You can't jump. So you better
do the little things.
You better stunt. You better be in the gap. You better understand how to be smarter than them, because if you're not, you don't stand a chance. Joker's not just the best player in the world. He's one of the smartest players in the world.
For sure.
Like a computer.
You understand? So
I've never seen nothing like him.
Yeah, he's
I've never seen that kind of point center.
Yeah,
he's a point guard brain inside of a 7'2"
with
guy's
that
body.
kind of body style.
It's fake. But he also has this edge about him.
He got that dog.
Yes, that's what's
You see his brothers?
That's what's different.
He got that
That's
dog.
one European guy. You can't just say anything to him or push him or hold him any kind of way.
Hell no.
He stops what he's doing and is like, listen, you better chill out. You know what I mean? And I love that about him.
Yeah, and he'll go there.
Yeah.
So,
sure.
Bill, before I kind of, segue into some of our other topics,
Right.
You work with quite a few guys right now.
For
How
sure.
many NBA players are you currently working with?
Man, close to 50, man.
Wow. Close to 50
Close
players.
to 50,
Okay.
Actively, for sure.
So I want to talk about the different layers of development, because one thing is to get somebody and train a guy and work them out.
Right.
The hardest thing in you guys' business is to retain them, right?
Right.
At different places in their lives.
Right.
So our brother BK and Hassan Whiteside right now are, transitioning out of you had BK in high school. Right. You got
BK was tough. I played against BK in high school. I told the story. I was 13 and under playing AAU.
Right.
And I've always been a big kid.
Right.
So we were getting ready to play. I think we were either at Dillard.
Yeah, I was at Dillard,
We were at Dillard or somewhere up north.
Right.
And they're like, hey, that kid's really good over there. Almost about my size, cornrows. And I was like, oh, him? I was like, yeah, all right.
Yeah.
We start playing whatever. All of a sudden, 20-5, 35-5, 42-10. I start looking around, I'm like,
BK.
hey, what's up with this guy?
Right.
Sat the rest of the second half because they were up so much. I looked back and had 40. I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
BK.
I was like, oh, he's all right. He's different. So I went to Killian.
Okay, Killian.
We played. I graduated 2010. Timmy Hardaway Jr. at Palmetto. He was a dog over there too.
For sure.
They had him versus BK in the regional semifinals at Columbus.
I remember.
And that game was
bum,
bum. And that's where you knew, like, oh, BK going to Kentucky at the time. And it was like, oh, BK's really like that.
Yeah. Right, yeah.
And people don't think about that.
Brandon Knight.
Yeah, we used to get up for those type of games. Like anybody they used to say it was kind of good or anything, he used to just like, oh, okay, I'm going to go over there and show him how much better I am than him. Like, not just win. I want him to be like, okay, there's levels to this. So when you see me, you respect me.
It was like a Kawhi, like he was Kawhi in high school basketball in South Florida. Like,
for sure.
You could not stop him.
You know what? BK was our little homie, our little bro.
Right.
But man, he helped us so much by his desire to listen and to be open, and his work ethic and his discipline and his focus and his poise. And then he had this mean streak in him.
Right.
Like Brandon Knight, like we're better because he was in our life.
100%.
No doubt about that. But I want to go back to this point. So you got guys who are like playing overseas. Brandon played USA basketball and did some things and is still, in the gym grinding.
Right.
You got, Anthony Edwards and people like that who are current all-stars. You got the Gary Trent Juniors of the world who are still fighting in the middle of his career. You got young kids at Cincinnati like our young boy Sean. You got high school kids coming up. Like, how are you able to give this much virtue to these different phases of these young men's lives and careers, and they still come back to you? What is the intangible that keeps them coming back, like, to you for the sauce?
Right. I feel like in this, the same way I want them to evolve, I have to keep evolving, right? The game is changing, I have to change, right? My mentality, right? It's never my way or the highway. Like I make sure they understand we're going to come in here and learn together. We're going to get better together, right? And I think that my secret is never going against the grain. When you talk about an NBA team or an NBA player, right? It's not my show. It's how do I make him better for his team.
For their
and there's no way you ever go around that. Like it's not about me. It's about how do you get better within their system, right? We have to be, in order for them to trust you, you have to do everything they want from you, right? Whether you don't like what your position is or how they're using you, you know what? Let's figure out a way how to love it. First thing first. Let's love your role first.
That's good. Okay? That's like, really good.
So buy in, man. Like you got to buy in, and then next minute while you're buying in, because you work on your game, other things start happening, and then they start. Oh, you know what? Maybe we need to start letting them shoot threes. Did you just see him in that butter situation? And that low shot clock situation, and look at that move he made. Well, maybe we need to create some ISOs for him. That it happens, but in order to get on the court and build the trust of your organization, you have to do what they want you to do. And I say it the same way they're saying it, but I just say it our way, right? Yeah. I know how to get to those guys. I understand their language. I understand how they're, receptive to information, because at the end of the day, right, you have a team of 15 players and it's one coach. If I want to get a message across, I'm going to say it my way, and it's going to be that, right? Mm-hmm. For me, I'm working with that one player. So I'm going to understand what the coach is saying, and I'm going to make it receptive to that player.
Let me ask you this. How were you able to navigate, like, NBA coaches, organizations, GMs, presidents, they trust you in their facility? Right. It wasn't always like that. You had to put a lot of work in and shake a lot of hands and kiss a lot of babies to kind of, get to that. And 20 years later, you have access. I see you, a lot of times working out late nights with some of the young guys at the Heat facility. Yep, I see you when you're traveling with Andre and you're in the Philadelphia 76ers, all these different things. Like, how were you able to disarm the NBA, forces to allow you to come in and continue to serve and develop your players without minimizing their infrastructure? And, like, how were you able to build that trust?
I think that I remember in my earlier days feeling the heat, right, from guys like, this guy feels like he's better than us, or he's going to teach the game better than us. How does he know more than us? Like, we're in this position. And when I start feeling that heat, I said, you know what? I got to take a different approach, right? I said, hey, how can we do this together? Talk to me. What do you guys see? When they start seeing me ask them questions like, Oh, you care about our perspective? Absolutely. You're with him every day. Your perspective is super important to me. Let me get your number. We stay in contact. Hey, how you doing? How's your family doing? Talk to me about how he's. And then they're like, then they start asking me questions. Well, Rem, I came to your gym during the summer. The way he was looking you in the eyes and like a pit bull and was locked in. We need that look for us. Talk to us. I said, yeah, well, this is how you got to do this.
Train the trainers.
You get what I'm saying? So like,
Sharing.
we did it together. Share information. Don't feel like one is bigger than the other, right? And once they seen that, they start calming down. And then the higher ups start seeing me speak that same language. Then they said, oh, he's in good hands. So like, they trust it more. They know that when they come to Miami, it's not a bunch of fun. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of accountability. It's a lot of that same culture being preached, but just in my way.
How do you do that work on the back end? Because you're making it seem very easy, and it's not very easy because you're dealing with almost 30 teams, different guys on different teams.
Sure.
Everybody's got a different directive. Everybody has a different vision for how they want their organization to be run. Yet you're the one that's connected, the connective glue and the connective tissue between all those guys and all those organizations. Like, how much work is that for you from a homework perspective of, all right, I know the Celtics want to do this. I know the Bucks want to do this. I know the Jazz want to do this.
Well, when it's your job, it's this fun. It doesn't even feel like work. So being able to look up the Celtics and see how they're playing, talk to their coaches, it's fun for me. That I enjoy that. I can do that.
You always love that game.
Like it all started like just with him. Like for instance, just being around, right? Being around, meeting people, right? Seeing the way he dressed. He always took pride in the way he dressed.
Come on, look at him.
Like, you know,
Fresh.
like
got the shoe, the Jays match you at the top of the hat.
So
Come on, baby.
I watched it. I watched how he interacted with people. He had a special personality about him, right? So like I watched how people were receptive to him, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna start doing that on my level, right? And on the high school side, let me start wearing my collar shirts. Let me start being more professional. People look at you different, and now they're not like, that's not just Keon's homeboy. Like, that's his friend, but that's also somebody trying to get up in the basketball world. When he's there, he's looking at film, he's asking for highlight tapes. He's not just around to be around. And I think that, you know, that was big for me, right, in the beginning of my career. So just creating these relationships with guys, you got to think, man, guys like when I was training Grievous Vasquez, right, the GM of the Raptors now used to come in and rebound for us.
Wow.
Like, you understand, like, the relationship now. Another thing he taught me, no matter where you're at, who you come in contact with, you treat everybody with respect, right? Whether it's the bellman, whether it's the usher, I always remember him telling me that. So that guy used to just come in and rebound. Now look at him. You see, if I treated him like just a rebounder or somebody not important, look at how he would treat me now when I've worked with Scotty Barnes and I've worked with Emmanuel Quickly and and now when we have these conversations, we laugh. Like,
now you got the key.
We like, man, I remember, bro, I can't believe it. Like, this is 12 to 15 years later and you're still at it. And I said, look at you. You're still at it at a high level, right? So like, that's just bringing all those type of things together that help you build you and formulate to, you know, who I am today.
Man,
Sure.
That's powerful, man. Because I read something the other day is treat everybody like they're the gatekeeper to your destiny. Because you never know who's watching, you never know who's around, you never know who's watching you be a better person and be professional, like you said, and be, you know, loving, right? Like that. Like we got enough hate in the world. Like, let me spread some love. And when you show love to people that are maybe in not a favorable position, all of a sudden they're a dog and they're working at their thing. You're working at your thing, and not all of a sudden you call up the GM of the Raptors and be like, "Hey, what's up? We good? Like, what are you doing?"
That kind of conversation because that's how we built our relationship. Like, this guy was just always somebody I can call. As soon as I got to Toronto, before I was going, hey, about to get to Toronto, James Johnson, you know, Lou Will, Grievous Vast. Oh, no problem. Open up the gym, come in here. You need this, you need that. And to see him where he's at now, you know, it's amazing.
Man, that's so dope, bro. Well, I want to touch on this, Rem Bim, and I really want to get your thoughts because, like, look, we at the crib.
Right.
We love the heat.
We do.
You know, we love everything South Florida.
Yes,
you
sir.
know what I mean? Like, you know, it's South Florida is growing, you know, because I live in, you know, the Treasure Coast now. But, like, from Palm Beach on down to Dade County, like, that's home team. That's what we kind of call one another.
100%.
The Heat didn't make any moves
Right.
during the break, right? And Pat has always been like so perfect in his time and when to like, you know, kind of hold down the fort and then, you know, make a move. And, you know, we were thinking we were going to get Giannis. We were thinking we were going to do some things to kind of get over that hump, and it didn't kind of materialize. But just talk a little bit about like what you see with the Heat and them not making any moves. And does that set them back? Are we like trapped in being mediocre? Or do you think this summer will be a very, you know, movement heavy summer for the Heat?
I think Pat Riley and those Heat guys, they're known for making very strategic moves, right? Of course, Giannis on the table, they try to get Giannis, but like I don't think that pursuit is over. I think that, you know, I think they're going to make a tougher push. I think wherever Giannis lands, he wants to be for the rest of his career. If he leaves Milwaukee, this is where he's going to be. So, and obviously he stressed how important or how much he loves Miami. He has some roots here. He's got some real estate here, you know. So, like, I think that he does want to be in Miami. I think he's a Heat guy. Those are things.
For sure. He's definitely got that DNA.
When you talk about Miami, they like a certain type of player. They don't just pick anybody. So, like, you say, hey, John Morant's available. I love Ja, but is he a Heat guy, right? You know, that's the thing. It's not about the talent. It's about, can you become the culture? Because the culture is the cheat code, believe it or not. How hard they play, their discipline, right? I think that's the cheat code when you go play against other teams, like, you know, and I think this is a special year for Spo because he's able to, like, really coach. He don't have guys he's got to cater to, you know what I mean? Like, he is coaching his ass off right now.
Yes, he is.
And I think that their style of play, their 0.5 decisions, there's no real ball screens anymore, right?
Zero. They're basically running zero pick and rolls.
So like he's a genius with how he's, you know, making those guys play. And I think any given night in any kind of Miami team, they always can catch you slipping because they're always going to play hard. They're always going to box out. They're always going to dive on the floor for loose balls. They're going to preach extra contests, getting up on screen, pick up points. Like they're big on that. So, like, they always can beat you any given night. I've watched them win playoff series they weren't supposed to win because
no business winning.
You understand what I mean? Just because of that culture. I've been and started with him. He brought me into that. You know what I mean? And 20-something years later, I'm still working with guys for the Miami Heat, so I know how they operate. And they're a special organization. They beat to their own drum.
Yeah, they are.
And that's why they're not just going to make moves to make moves. They're like, hold on, I don't think this guy's a Heat guy. And when me and Spo always talk about different things, and you know, sometimes, and we joke about like, Heat guy, not Heat guy. Like, you know, we joke, and Spo's very private, super private person. So like, he ain't gonna give you, you know, no one in that organization. The way they move, it's like it's
a fortress in there.
It's like they just met me yesterday. It's like
crazy.
There's no like, you know what I mean? Like it's hey Stan, we've known you for 25 years, whatever you like. It's still like, hey, you still got to follow the rules. You still got to do this. It's accountability from whoever comes in this facility, who's in and out. Like they're big on that. It's not like any other organization. So I'm not surprised that they didn't jump the gun and just do anything during the break.
I trust Pat Riley in his judgment. And I think sometimes this is where I get frustrated with the South Floridian culture.
Right.
Like if you got somebody who's put in work in our area for that amount of time, right? And he's had to do some resets. He's had to implement. He's developed a lot of talent. He's retained a lot of talent. He's made bold moves. He's brought championships back. Like OG Pat Riley can slick that hair back. And we got to be patient with him because we know that, like, pretty much this next move that he makes probably will be his last one.
Yeah, the last.
As far as for the legacy of it, because I believe that at some point Pat will, you know, ascend into like a minimal role because I think he'll always be connected, and I think Spo will go up to that next one. I will be interested to see who that next coach will be.
Wow,
I think that coach is sitting on. I think that coach is sitting on the bench right now.
It's right there.
Right now. And I played with him.
Yeah, I know
who
you're
talking
talking
I won't
about.
say the name. You know, people will be able to read between the lines. I played with a few guys on that
He
staff.
had a great ATO the other day.
Oh, he did. That lob. He drew that up. And I think he's the heir apparent.
Yeah, he is, man. And I remember, I forgot what the story was on why this guy stayed on the Miami Heat. Yes, I remember the story. Rob Height.
Mm-hmm.
Remember?
Yep, Rob.
Rob got in some trouble, I think, and they made a cut, and they were able to keep the coach.
Mm-hmm.
And just talking to him, he's a lot different than Spo, though. You know, I love that he has his own twist. He's more, I would say, a people person. A little bit. He's more open, but also, when you get in that head seat,
You got it.
It's a different animal.
You change.
Yeah, well, I
different
had
animal.
Spo as an assistant,
You know?
and Spo changed my life.
Right,
He
right.
really did. Like, he, really sat down and taught me how to watch film, what to look at, how to show up early. He never let us cruise through. Like, Spo, the energy that he had, the passion that he had, the insight that he had,
sure.
but Spo mean as a rattlesnake. For sure. I think people look at Spo and they think it's sweet.
Nah.
Like, let me tell you, Spo ain't ducking no smoke. He's not ducking no smoke.
Right.
Like, nobody over there really. Like, they come from an environment of toughness and tenacity and accountability, and they uphold those rules and those laws.
For sure.
Speaking of Spo in the front office and everybody, obviously they do probably the best job in the NBA from a development perspective, where you see a diamond in the rough, Duncan Robinson, Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, the list goes on and on.
Right.
And you see guys that played mid-major, you see guys that were kind of bouncing around from team to team, G League, D League, whatever. That guy can do it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you turn out a Duncan Robinson, you turn out a Max Strus, a Gabe Vincent.
Udonis Haslam.
Right.
You know, the list,
You know?
the laundry list is very
Yeah.
long.
Right.
From a development standpoint, which is what you do.
Right.
Have you seen anything like that from any organization where they can just kind of snap a finger and turn a guy who nobody really wanted into a guy that can, Tyler Johnson, another guy who they developed, they created, and then all of a sudden is like a 50, 60, $70 million player somewhere else. And it's like nobody wanted that guy. The moment he touches over there in the red and black, all right.
Something different.
I think Miami does a good job of figuring out how to make sure guys get on the floor, right? They teach them how to get on the floor, and they teach them by defense, accountability. Like, those things can always translate. So, like, Duncan, if you're not making shots, right, can you help us? Taught him how to, you know what? When Duncan left here, his level of effort on the defensive side, his attention
Was so
to that
different.
was different. So, like, now, if you're not making shots, you can be on the floor. So I think that's what Miami teaches. So, like, the development comes from the intangibles, right, in their culture. So, like, they can go anywhere and impact, right? And I think that's an important thing for them when they talk about development. And then they just stay in the gym. Like, they work hard. They just work hard. I'm not saying other organizations don't work hard. I think it's just, you hear about it, the conditioning tests. And, like, when you know you have to do that during the summer.
Oh, shit, my bad. I just had a flashback.
How was that? Let me see that flashback. What did that look like?
Man, that flashback looked like, I remember calling my wife like, hey, babe, I don't know if I want to do this.
Yeah.
Had you questioning the career
I
path?
don't know if I'm cut out for this.
It was like that. Right. You hear all the Heat players, right, that I've worked with, when it's that summertime, they are talking about this and they're preparing for this test.
Yes.
Like that's accountability in itself. Like,
yes.
I'm not going to stay out late because I got to get my mind right. I got to build my, just the body to be able to withstand what I'm going to withstand. So, like, they're thinking about that throughout the summer. So, conditioning test. I got to be right. I got to pass the eye test, weighing body fat. I'm like, wow. When I hear Heat players talk, then I hear other players talk, it's totally different. Not that they're not working hard, that just their level of, like, attention and detail to, like, their bodies, right? It's on another
There's
level.
a bar that's been set by the organization that says the bar is excellence.
Yeah.
If you don't meet that bar,
Right.
you're not going to be part of the team.
Right.
And it feels like, there's been a million stories about the Heat conditioning from 20,000 different players that have been through that organization.
Right.
And again, not that other organizations don't work hard. Maybe just that standard is not excellence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe the weather. Like, when I remember them just going out to the track, and I used to be like, man, if y'all were in a cold city, you couldn't do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So, like they used to be out on the track, like track stars, and I couldn't believe it. Like, they had to change that because, like, you know what I mean? I just remember him being so tired. Like,
Bro. But, man, you know what? I was able to use that little time
Right.
and, apply that everywhere I went. And because I was a Heat guy, like I had a longer career than I probably should have had.
Wow.
Like what I learned there extended my career. That's for sure.
That's awesome.
For sure. All right, Bim, let's segue a couple like cultural, topics to kind of dive into. Obviously, the Super Bowl was last night, and look, I didn't have a dog in that race last night. I really wasn't that excited about the game, but I love, you got to watch the Super Bowl.
Right.
Man, what was your thoughts on the halftime performance? Because I know I enjoyed it. I love, dude, like, so all the places we've traveled, the food that we ate, the wine that we tasted, the coffee that we might have had, the places that we've gone, we've been able to experience, people's journey through their food, through their culture, through their music, through their rhythm, through their cadence, through their sound, through their look.
Right.
So I always can really appreciate that. That performance took me through, Bad Bunny's Puerto Rican experience.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Right.
Of messages.
And I enjoyed it. I had fun watching it. And that's my opinion on it. But, like, what did you think about it? And, Tone, I definitely want to hear from you
You
as
already
well.
know where I stand, but I'll give you mine.
Well, first, shout out to the Seahawks, man. I got a few close friends, Joshua Jones, offensive tackle, and Kenny McIntosh, who's from South Florida, went to university school. Super Bowl champions,
Wow,
to be
congratulations, home team.
So those are great accomplishments for those guys. But Bad Bunny is international, man.
Yeah,
like I think
he's
that
a big star.
When you talk about Super Bowl and Super Bowl performances, it's international. I think like he's already number one in views already. We never thought
135 million.
Yeah,
I think it was over 140 something now.
Yeah, for sure. Because I rewatched it this morning.
Yeah, you understand what I mean? So like, I think that the messages, the cultural messages that he put in, a lot of the part of the performance was great. I spent a lot of time in Puerto Rico, so I understand his
A lot of good hoopers down there.
Yeah, you know how big he really is.
Now he's like Michael Jackson over
for
there.
Sure.
So
a lot of places.
Yeah, like a lot of places. So I was excited. I think I seen something Chris Brown said, that they need him. Right?
Well, this is Bad Bunny's moment, but I want to see Breezy everywhere. I'm a Breezy fan.
I'm a huge Breezy fan, but I think that let him have that moment.
Yeah, that's.
I think yes, we do need you. But not right. Not at that moment. Let's enjoy greatness together. Like, because if you watch that show and you watch it from top to bottom, that can't be the first thing you thought about.
Yeah.
Them needing you. You was like, wow, this dude is an international superstar. He wasn't just touching, a hip hop liker or an R&B liker. Like, he was touching everybody. If you like music and performances, you were definitely intrigued with what he did. No question.
It was the greatest halftime show of all time.
Mm-hmm. Well,
again, I'm biased.
Well,
I'm biased.
I know, and you might not have saw Michael Jackson either. So,
I didn't.
Yeah, so
but
I understand you're not just biased, but you're a little young. You know what I mean? But I dig it. Go ahead.
But as a Hispanic male, and I've been listening to reggaeton and Latin trap for a very long time. So like when Bad Bunny came out on the scene, from a musical perspective, sonically, he sounded so different than everybody else in the genre. Everybody was like, wait a second, hold up. Who is this?
Right.
And like, why is he blowing up all over SoundCloud? Like, he's the biggest thing in Puerto Rico, and nobody was talking about him. Pandemic hits. He had dropped an album right before the pandemic.
Okay.
It didn't really catch a lot of traction. He did a collab album with J Balvin that went nuclear. Right when the pandemic hit, he dropped his first album outside of the pandemic, went crazy. And at that point, I was listening. I was like, bro, this guy is not just a Puerto Rican artist. This is a guy that has the potential to be the biggest artist on the planet. The biggest artist on the planet, which now fast forward 6 years, it's inarguable. He is the biggest artist on the planet. Why? Because he touches all of South America, all of Europe, all of America, Asia, Africa, whatever it is, his sound travels more so than any other sound, right? A lot of Afro beats in Hispanic music. Right. Just the way that he delivers, raps, singing, like all these different things. So at that point, a couple of years ago on the Levitard show, I was like, hey, look, guys, you guys are going to laugh at me, but Bad Bunny's the biggest artist on the planet. No, Taylor Swift, no, this, no, that. I'm like, no, you guys don't get it. Like, this guy has the potential. If he gets put on by something, the rocket ship that he's going to be is going to be legendary. And when they came out and said he was going to do the halftime show, I was like, oh, shit. Okay, like, this is the moment. Yeah. And he's a guy that, in my opinion, again, this is my 10-Day Tony's opinion, he hasn't had a bad album yet. Every Every
like
album
his
is a
stuff.
classic.
I love his stuff.
Every album is a classic. You look top to bottom. We talked about filler songs earlier. We'll get maybe that to a little bit later. There's no filler in the album. Straight fire. If it's 16 tracks, it's straight fire. And I get it. If you don't speak Spanish, you don't know what he's saying. You don't know like what it is, but you feel the music.
Yeah, he said that. He said that, and I think like him saying what he said, like I think that allowed people to like watch it from a different lens. He says even if you don't understand the words that I'm saying, you can still
Feel the
dance
rhythm.
to the
Yep.
music.
100%.
And I felt, you know, that performance.
It was the best
sure.
production of a Super Bowl halftime show. Can
Yeah,
we
it was
agree on
dope.
that?
For sure.
Traveling from through the stocks,
It was-
the bodega, the light poles. So a lot of people have been trying to figure out like why the light poles was the situation with that. So in the song, it's called El Apagón, which is the blackout, right? In Puerto Rico, they're having major blackout problems where the power grid is completely shut off for
subtle.
weeks at a time, where you just don't have power. You go to the crib and it's like, all right, well, I guess we're here. Like, there's nothing to do. Guys playing dominoes, like all that stuff was just. If you, when you grow up in that culture, and obviously you guys have your culture where you look at certain things, you're like, oh yes, I recognize that.
Yeah.
I resonate with that. There's one where they actually had that wedding they had was a real wedding.
Yeah, I saw that too.
That was crazy, right?
Dope,
so
man.
when they're dancing in the wedding, he jumps off the thing, whatever, he comes out and they're dancing. You remember who he tells the little kid who's sleeping on the side of the thing to get up? That's something that as a kid, parents would take us to these weddings where we didn't know people. They're all dancing salsa, doing all this stuff.
Right.
And it's a little kid, you're like, oh, it's 12:30. I'm trying to go to sleep.
Right.
And it's like that was our childhood. That was
That's
all
dope,
like
man.
our stuff.
I'm glad he was able to capture the essence of that. And I think, man, it was just like I think, you know, I just think we're at a time right now, man, where like we could really choose to see the best in each other.
Right.
You know, the best value that we bring, to not minimize it, anybody experience, to just like, you know, just celebrate, you know what I mean? The differences between one another and enjoy.
That's what makes us great.
I wonder if like artists like Bad Bunny, Ozuna, like they're huge, right? I wonder, do they give Noriega any credit?
I hope.
Do you know
I hope.
what Noriega did?
Yeah, Nori put in a lot of work.
Well, he brought the
Reggaeton like to
sound.
mainstream.
Yeah, and like they thought it was
What?
a joke at first.
Venga reggaeton.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they thought it was a joke at first. So like to see it how it's blew up the way it is, like I feel like he needs to get a lot more credit than he does for that, because he transformed into that person. Remember, Capone and Noriega was like,
Yeah, they were huge.
they were
And
big time, you know. But the way he transformed, you know, into that type of music, I don't know if he gets enough credit. For
I
that.
agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think he should.
Because there's a lot of interchangeable guys where you see Drake jumped on the Bad Bunny song. Yes, Mia.
that's
Like that was
that's my-
huge,
that's
man.
my song right there,
Come
too,
on.
right.
And that crosses over between reggaeton and hip hop.
Right.
And we've had so many different collabs. Anuel's had stuff with Future.
Right.
Future's been on his songs. Anuel was on a Pop Smoke song. Like things like that where you start recognizing, oh, wait a second. The beat do is universal.
Right.
You can hop and spit 16 on that.
He definitely got a hot 16 for
I
anything.
got for anything. For anything. That's
But it's
my
like
hidden talent.
it's the beautiful merging of the cultures where in the early 2000s, reggaeton really started. Daddy Yankee, like Wisin and Yandel, like all those guys really started becoming, oh, wait a second, this is bigger than just Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I think that's when Nori was like, oh, wait a second, that sound, I know that sound, I've done that before.
Yeah.
It's just in a different language now.
Yeah.
And it's got a little bit more island Afrobeat vibe.
Man,
But like that's something that is derivative, right? Kind of the same family tree, but just different branches.
Yeah, no, it was dope, man. And I think, you know, the NFL got bigger yesterday, right?
More
Because,
international
their
for sure.
Yeah, their demographic, you know, like they wanted, like they got exposed, you know, to American football, which expands, you know, the brand and things like that. So I think it was a dope performance. I'm glad we got to experience that. And man, I'm like, who's next? Exactly.
Kendrick and Bad Bunny back-to-back years, it's going to be hard to top the last couple.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough, but you know, there's maybe one or two people out there that they could do with. I'm interested to see who they come up with next. Like, okay, so let's kind of close this thing out, Remy. I wanted to ask you a couple more questions about hoops.
Okay.
You know, we Florida boys up here.
Right.
There's certain attributes that us Florida boys kind of have, right? And so you see the Thompson twins, having success in the league. You see Scotty Barnes, putting in work. And there's a lot of other guys. Mitchell Robinson, who's up from the Panhandle. There's a lot of guys from Florida who we historically have been known as a football state. Where do you think Florida is basketball-wise, and what is it that we could do as, somewhat gatekeepers around, this Florida basketball? Obviously, we stand on the shoulders of the folks who came before us, but the game got bigger while we were in it.
Right.
Is there something that we could be doing now to bring some more unity? The way that LA has that unity when Barron brings all those guys together, the way that guys from the DMV kind of still stay connected.
Right.
Is there something that we could be doing in Florida right now for our basketball to make sure that, one, the youngsters understand the history of it, and then two, we stay connected in the future of it?
Yeah, I think it's difficult because it's not just a Florida thing. I think everyone's gatekeeping because of now how these players are able to monetize, right? So as people attaching to them, right, that that shouldn't be being attached to them, right? And then they gatekeep. Hey, I don't want to send them over there because that guy's doing all the right things and he's going to figure out that I was doing all the wrong things. So you know what I mean? Like, so I think in Florida, the gatekeeping, I think the guys like yourself and Brandon and Udonis, we've all done things individually to try to help. If we come together, the Eddie Joneses of the world, the Mitch Richmonds, the Keons, the Steve Blakes of the world, right? The Brandon Knights, the Kenny Boydens, right? All these amazing players that came out of Florida. As I look at, they just need a hand in to what's going on. Let's take the Europe approach, right? Get a lot of these guys to give back to teach the game, right? Help the guys that are teaching the game now. We don't want to take it from you. That's the problem. They think we want to take it from them. We want to help you, right, with our knowledge, with our experiences, to make sure that we have more elite basketball players that are coming out of South Florida, because that's what it's about, right? We feel like it's our duty to be able to help South Florida athletes. We feel like any South Florida, I would say 75% of South Florida athletes that come out of here from middle school to high school to the NBA and then college, they've usually come through me, right? But the other, 20%, they want to come. It's crazy when I have a conversation with I'm not even gonna.
Don't say the name. Don't say the name. But I know what you're saying.
They get to the NBA, and they're like, "Bro, I've been trying to work with you," and I'm like,
"They wouldn't let me."
They wouldn't. They told me, "Bro,
they wouldn't let me."
Yeah, they wouldn't. They told me, "Don't go over there." He don't know what he's talking about, and I would say, "You sure?" Because the last 10 guys that he worked with went to the NBA, and that's my goal.
It's a good track record there.
So, you sure about that? And then when kids get older, they realize, dang, that guy was hating on him.
Right.
And I'm like, bro, listen, little do you know, I want to do this together. When guys actually meet me, they're like, dang, this dude is a real good dude. They thought I was going to be an arrogant, person.
It's about you.
You're crazy.
Yeah.
There's no success in that. That your success will be short-lived if you act that way.
Yeah.
Right. It's all about helping. So I think to answer your question, just coming together and being a part of what youth basketball is about, right? And kind of shifting parents' minds instead of chasing rankings. Let's chase development.
Yeah.
Right. Let's chase structure. Let's chase intangibles and understand how to play the game. And I think that's what I'm trying to do with my program. I have a travel program, Remy Run Select, and I, for me, it's not about winning trophies, right? At a young age, I want to develop you,
Yeah,
and not just come in the gym and develop skill wise. Let's develop mentally, right? Think about it. You go to big camps as kids when they would say, basketball is 90% mental. When you used to hear that, you didn't know what that meant. You didn't know what that meant. You're like, 90% mental.
It's I'm running my ass off here.
I'm picking up 94 feet. I am dunking the ball like crazy. Last time I checked, that is physical. That has nothing to do with mental. But little did you know, right? Understanding the game, thinking the game, the emotions of the game, right? The politics of the game, just being smart about the game. Knowing you don't come into the gym and train that. Elite trainers know how to train that. Think about it. 90% of it is mental, but you're only working on 10%. I don't care if you were in the gym for 4 hours, 5 hours straight. You're only working on the 10%. How do you work on the 90? Are you watching film? Do you understand the why? Are these guys explaining the why? Why do you get to the corner? We tell them, you got to get to the corner. Even young guys in the NBA, you get to the corner. You know, I spoke to a coach about a veteran guy. One of our guys is like, he just doesn't know how to get to the corner. I'm like, does he understand why that's so important to get there, to create a driving lane? Like, that's not in the stat sheet, right? They don't help from the corner in the NBA. So if you get there quick and someone's driving, now you can get that guy out of the gap, right? And force the low man to have to come in and help in a transition situation by just getting to the corner, something so simple.
That's crazy.
Right? You understand what I'm saying? Like, so like they don't understand that's not going to be in the stat sheet. It might not even be, you know, talked about, but you don't understand that you making your team better because you have an ability to shoot, and also you're hustling to create a driving lane for somebody, right? So if we're teaching that and we're teaching the youth that, right? How do you teach a youth? We start our offenses in the corner. You got to spread hard to get to the corner so that we can run our offense efficiently. That has to be taught. If you're not educated enough to know that, they're lollygagging, and now they wonder why they're dribbling into gaps, turning the ball over, right? You got to just teach something so simple that's something that can be so big, right? And it needs like the Keons, the Mitches, the Eddie Joneses, the Udonis's, myself to come down, the Brandons, to be able to say, hey, I see how you're teaching practice, but I feel like that kid doesn't understand why.
Why, right.
You got to just make sure he understands why. And then the most important last thing I'm going to say is everyone understands the game differently. So the way you're teaching it, it might be going in one ear and out the other to you, but you fully and understanding what I'm saying. So I have to figure out how you learn. That's next level.
It's being a teacher.
Exactly. Like you have to figure out how you learn. And once I figure out how you learn, that's when it starts to click for people. They can be in the gym hours and hours and hours, and you're like, why is it not translating? Right? And then all of a sudden it clicks because you figured out how they're receptive to information. Now they're starting to, okay, I get it now. I remember when
Now they get to the corner.
Yeah, I remember working with this guy, and I was playing the game, but not playing the game. Does that make sense?
Makes perfect
You
sense.
understand? So now I'm coming off pick and rolls, and I'm like, there's a whole game that I wasn't even seeing that he was helping me probe, slow down, and seeing the roller, seeing the guy helping the roller. And then when I seen the guy help the roller, I'm like, wow, that guy's butt naked in the corner. I never saw that because you know what we were looking at? The rim, right? And if we don't teach our point guards that, right, guess what they're doing in Europe, though?
They're teaching all that.
They're 3 lines of defense.
Extra pass, extra pass, extra pass.
So that's the difference. But what we're teaching, we're going to teach that rhythm of the game. We're going to teach that cross tween, right? We're going to be able to break you down, right? But what is the next play is what we're not teaching. The 3 lines of defense, the reads, right? That's what they're teaching. So I think it comes in hand. Like both of them matter, right? To make a great player.
Yeah.
I told my wife, I might send my son to Europe for like a year aboard, like to just go figure it out, go learn the game, like
Right.
at an elite level. Not that I can't teach it to him, but like you have multiple people putting hands on him, and now he comes back, he just understands
More refined.
the game. Yeah, he understands the game at a high level.
And like you said, you learn the game, you can learn the skills.
Right.
He's got the skills at home.
Right.
It's learning the game in a system where it's teaching you, all right, you want to be, this is the move. You're going to get off the pick and roll, but you got to think 3 steps ahead because you know at some point
sure.
there's going to be a pass in the corner that's going to be open, but it's only because you made the dribble, you made the move, you saw this guy cut this way, and you can go that way. So it's like learning the fundamentals, I feel like, has been lost in the society of like, let me try and be and one the professor, let me try to do all this stuff and then get mine.
How professionals don't even know this.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Coaching's got to get better. You know, really, coaching's got to get better. I look at the way the game is played now. Everybody plays the same, right? You know, Phil Jackson had the triangle offense.
right.
You know, Flip Saunders, they played out of, you know, the Hawk set, right, where they would do 452 twist. They had like about 40 plays off of that. John Stockton and Malone, you know, they played a lot of pick and roll, and they played kind of out of a high flex offense. That was Jerry Sloan's offense, and they had these rigs and triggers. I think that coaching has gotten lazy as far as strategy.
Wow.
Right? I really do. I feel like all teams play alike. I think we lean more to the analytics as opposed to the trained eye. And I think all of them are necessary, and you have to bring them and merge them together.
That's the key. That's the key.
So All right, so Bim, last question before I get you out here, unless Tone, you got something else for me?
I was gonna do a couple rapid fire questions with Remy.
Okay, yeah, rapid fire. Let's go
All right.
rapid fire,
Let's
please.
rapid
Rapid fire.
Best hoops shoes.
Ooh.
Because we got a lot of them. And you talk about generations of hoop shoes.
Ooh.
The GOAT hoop shoe.
For me, it's them pro models, man. The Adidas pro models, the Pat
Really?
Levers. I love them. Those are my favorite.
Really?
I love those. I love those.
KD?
Yeah, no, Adidas was good to me. I enjoyed playing in Adidas, but I would probably say, my most comfortable shoe playing in, it's probably like the Kobe's, like the low top Kobe's, and
The 8s,
like,
the
I
6s,
couldn't really
low-
play in
yeah.
those until I was like 12, 13 years in, because I used to jump a lot, so I used to like to wear high tops. But as I got older, those joints was really, really comfortable.
Right.
I love the 2K4 Hirachis, the ones with the strap up top.
okay. Those
They're
are fire.
re-releasing now, the
Looks
Kobe
wise.
ones.
There's other
I have
looks.
those.
Yeah, for sure.
I love
like
those. I used to play with those all the time.
That's what's
I had
up.
just gotten the pair of those that I've been using, and I love the ants. The ant ones are tough. I have the
Yes.
Stormtrooper ones, the all whites.
What?
Those are fire.
Yep. All ant shoes feel great.
I know this is tough. It's like choosing a favorite kid. The guy or girl that you coached, you were like, wow, like this person is so elite that you're looking at him. You're like, I don't understand how you do the things that you do. Who's that person? It could be somebody that we all know. It could be somebody that tales from the past where you're like, man, this guy never really made it to where I thought he was going to make it, but his skill was so refined, was so good that he was just kind of like head and shoulders above everybody else.
You know what? Obviously, it's a couple. I take different things from different ones, like Brandon's work ethic, right? D Wade, of course. James Harden was so just talented. Like you would tell him to do something, once he understood the why, he started just being great in it. And
People
I
don't
started
really
learning.
show the love for James that from a basketball mind perspective of just how smart and how good and how strong and
so
big.
amazing.
People don't realize how big James Harden is.
Talk that talk.
Yeah, James is one of the most talented basketball players ever.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Talented basketball players ever. Like he just starts getting into his groove. He's like, okay, this is what we're doing it. Okay, this is why we're doing it. No problem. Then I let him be him. Like once we're in that and he starts to be him, if I make him do it my way, right? Only we understand the why, but if I let him do it my way, then you won't see some of the electrifying things that he's able to do. And some of the stuff that you see in workouts, it's mind blowing. It's way more than what you see in a game. Trust me when I tell you. Like you go watch a workout and they start off these one-legged shots with it's ridiculous. Like how they start they're so gifted. But that's a tough question, man.
Yeah, that's a tough question.
I'm making you choose. I'm making you
tough.
choose between kids, and I get that. Like it's a tough situation. The music most likely to be playing when I walk into the gym, get ready to work. What's that? What's the soundtrack at the Remy
me?
gym? Yeah.
It's all you never could lose with Future. You never lose with Future, and you never lose with the little babies, and now the NBA young boys, right, of the world. Like, I put the quotation marks, but guess what? I have to evolve. I might. It wasn't my ear at first, but guess what? Start hearing it. That's what they want. You know what? It ain't that bad. I'm gonna adapt to this culture. Maybe I'm gonna give him a chance. Since you guys are giving him a chance, I'm gonna give him a chance. I don't walk in and play Jay-Z and Biggie Smalls and Tupac. I don't do that to them.
They wouldn't be able to relate.
I don't do that to them.
Best celebrity hooper that you've ever seen. Celebrity, not NBA player, but celebrity hooper.
Chris Brown is really good at basketball, for sure. I would say him.
Cole, you seen Cole play or not?
Nah, I haven't seen him. I seen him on YouTube, but I seen Chris play. But I think Cole is Cole probably
I just remember him catching the alley from Kevin Hart.
I just like the way Chris plays.
He played like he danced.
Yeah, exactly.
I was gonna say, let me get my, because you've seen KD play. I want to see if you can grade my jumper just to see like what's up real quick, just to get trained eyes on what I got going on here.
Let me see that Killian jumper.
Let me see. Hold up, I got it pulled up here. Hold up, let me see. Katie, you can filibuster for me for a second while
You know
I pull
what?
up.
I'm already knowing who you like in the dunk contest this year. I know one of your guys
good
is
question.
in the dunk contest.
Yeah, I'm gonna be totally biased. I'm
Yes,
going with
please.
Keyshawn.
That's
I'm going
right.
with Keyshawn
He's like
out of
that?
Miami. He's a freak athlete.
Yeah, he get off the floor.
He's a freak athlete, and he's an in-game dunker. Those are the ones that are dangerous. He's an in-game. He would do something crazy in-game. So, I'm going with him, no question. That's my brother, and I don't even care what else is going on. I'm going.
Damn
with
right.
Him.
Damn
No
right.
question.
All right, I went to go try out for Big 3 with Cube, and this is what we got going on the Heat court. Come on, talk to me. Let me know. That's NBA range real quick.
That don't look that bad. I'm not gonna lie. You
Let's
representing the
see.
Killian. That don't look that bad, man.
Come on.
Call him 10-day Tony for
on,
no
let me see.
reason.
10 days.
You're
Come on,
trying
with
to get
the
it.
Venice Beach Kobe's on. Let me know.
Okay, with the accessories, that don't look too bad, man. You might get sit in that corner and spot shoot.
I can get to the corner.
I don't know who you're gonna defend, but
I can't defend nobody. I can't defend nobody, but I can shoot. That's one thing I can do.
That's awesome, man.
We were shooting. I was shooting some content with Frank Nettie and Cuban. Then
yeah.
Frank is another guy who's
Yeah,
like,
Frank nice.
Frank nice.
Frank nice.
and you realize you're like the levels of, and obviously you've seen the elite of the elite. You've seen Hall of Fame level talent, but people that are watching and listening don't understand the levels of hoops where you have a guy who like Frank, who's not in the NBA.
Right.
But is one of the most pure hoopers that you've ever seen, and he can't make it to that level of where you're talking about, of like the higher ups, and it's like it's crazy how many levels there are in hoops.
It's tough.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's difficult to make the NBA. I always tell, young hoopers, hey, I don't want to demoralize you or kill your dream, but you got a better chance of jumping out of a helicopter and landing on 2 feet than making it to the NBA. So whoever doesn't want to go be along for this challenge, you can leave right now.
The helicopter's taking off right now.
That's going to let you know how hard this is going to be, the accountability, the tough days, the bad days, the sore days, right? So if you don't feel like this is going to be good for you, go ahead and the door is there today. That's how I lead them off.
Wow.
So
Jumping off a helicopter, landing on 2 feet.
Man, hey, it's difficult making it to the league. That's for sure, man. Well, look, Remy, man, we appreciate you, taking time out of your busy schedule. I know you got a lot of, clients to go and help them develop. I know you got, your beautiful family. So, man, send my love to your wife, the kids.
Absolutely.
Again, this is Stan Remy. Remy, tell everybody how they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram at Remy Workouts. You got at RemyWorkouts.com. You got at the Miami Perimeter. You can find me all those places. I'm mad we didn't get into no good debates. Man.
Well, I mean,
what do you want to debate?
we can get
you on another day. We can do a full
we can
debate
do a
show.
Debate, or if you want to debate something right now, I mean, the choice is yours.
Yeah, what's up?
We get. You know what?
Let's go.
I would love to hear, and I love the perspectives. Right. Top 10 greatest players of all time.
Wow.
Ooh, top 10?
All time.
All time.
Ooh.
I love
In
people's-
order?
In order. I love.
Damn.
I love people's perspectives.
So y'all want me to kind of jump out?
Go ahead.
Y'all want me to jump out there?
Jump out that gate.
All right, so I'm going to go MJ,
Okay.
LeBron,
Mhm.
Kareem.
Mhm.
Then I'm going to segue into Magic.
Mhm.
Then I am going to go.
You're missing a big one. Missing a big one right now. You're missing a big one right
don't
now.
know.
You can't
do
tell
that.
me I'm
You're
missing a
missing a
big
big one right now.
one. You can't tell me that. That's 4, right?
That's 4.
All right. Man, look, I know people this might not be as popular, but man, I'm gonna throw Wilt in there.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna put Wilt in my top 5.
Top 5. Okay.
All right, then I'm gonna segue and I'm gonna go like Tim Duncan, Kobe.
Okay. Finally, I was waiting for that one.
Oh yeah. No,
I was waiting for that one.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna go Tim Duncan.
So you got
Kobe.
Wilt over Kobe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got Wilt over Kobe.
Okay.
Yeah, I got 6 more before
No, I
Kobe
got-
just because
I got you,
know
I
what I
got you.
mean. Like it took him a little minute. What I got 3 more.
Remy didn't like that.
That's just me, dog. Let me have
You got
mine.
it, you got it, you got it.
The
and
names,
then
though. I'm
that's
cool with the
so.
names.
What is that? That's 7 or 8.
That's
You had
7.
7 was Kobe.
That was 7 was Kobe.
So 3 more.
All right, then I'm gonna go Shaq.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm gonna go Steph Curry, and then I'm gonna go Kevin Durant.
Ooh.
I like that.
I'm putting Steph.
10.
I like that.
Yep, I'm putting Steph.
I like that.
And KD in.
I like that.
Oh no, I take that back.
Uh-oh.
I miss Larry Bird. Larry Bird. I'm sorry.
yeah,
I missed that. I gotta go
You
back.
threw
No, I gotta go back. No, Larry. I gotta put Larry Bird in there. So I'll move. KD to 11, and I'll put Larry Bird before Shaq.
Okay.
I'm gonna go MJ, Braun. I'm gonna go Kobe. I'm gonna go.
Yeah, I know it's not easy.
Kareem.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Magic, Bird.
Okay.
I'm gonna go KD.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Steph.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Shaq,
Okay.
and I'm gonna go. Damn, I know I missed somebody big. I'm gonna go. He didn't win any rings, but I like him better than I do Duncan. But I don't know. Top 10 might be egregious to give it to him.
Karl Malone.
You gonna say?
Barkley.
Oh, okay. That's your opinion.
But I don't know. But I don't know.
But that's opinion.
I'm not doing it all based on titles, right? Like,
Well, that's not the only criteria, but you got to use that.
you know who's a quick 11 for me? KG.
KG. I heard that.
Yeah, right.
I ain't mad at you, brother. It's all
I'm not
subjective.
mad at you. So before I even say my top 10, I feel like when I base things on criteria, it's always about both ends of the floor. I think we kind of left off some demons that were like in top 10 in scoring and defensive players of years awards. I feel like people like for instance, Hakeem Olajuwon.
Yeah.
That's my favorite basketball player ever.
Wow. Okay.
Hakeem the Dream.
But
We both left him off there.
Yeah, we did.
I think Hakeem is a top 10 player.
I ain't mad at that.
There's no question.
I'm not mad at that.
He's got defensive player of the year. He's number 1 in blocks ever. He's led the NBA in steals. He's like top 10 in steals ever.
Damn.
Like he's like top 12 in points ever.
Yeah, I'm not mad at
Yeah.
it.
The dream was fire.
Like number 1 in block. Like it's just both ends of the floor. But anyway, MJ, Braun, Kareem, Magic, Kobe. That's my 5.
Okay.
And then I go with 6 with Larry Bird. I go 7, Shaquille O'Neal. I go 8, Wilt Chamberlain. I go 9, Tim Duncan. I go 10, Hakeem.
Okay, I ain't mad at that.
A lot of bigs. I like that.
Yeah, it's a lot of bigs. It was a big dominated game for a long time. Look, dude, I miss
No Curry though.
No, because I feel like they're actively still playing. I think there's 5 players in the NBA right now that are in the active of the 20 greatest players of all time. 5 active today. Braun,
Including Braun. Okay.
Yeah.
Braun, Steph, KD, Joker, and Giannis, I think.
Wow. How about Harden? Harden sneak in there somewhere?
All right, man. I love Harden.
Harden's top, by the way, second all time in threes made, James Harden.
Yeah.
For sure. But, you know, somebody like
crazy. I didn't know that.
Somebody like a Giannis, he had like an MJ year. Like he led the league in scoring that year. He was defensive player of the year that year. He won a championship.
Dominated too, yeah.
He was a finals MVP. And this is all 1 year, just to let you know. Defensive player of the year, scoring champ.
And we thought he slapped his leg,
MVP.
remember?
Yeah.
Like this is all in one season. So like that's one of the greatest seasons of all time. So I love Giannis. I love Giannis. Imagine it's almost like Shaq. What if he can make free throws, right? What if Giannis had
a jumper?
Right.
That's right.
He would extend his career by 10 years.
It would be fake. It wouldn't be fair.
That was a good debate to have. Just to kind of throw it out there. And a lot of times off the top of the dome, it's like a little bit more difficult.
It's hard.
But
I like to see a list so I can start scratching off some names.
But man, there's been so many great players, and I give them all their flowers. Y'all talked about James Harden. It's going to be interesting to see how he's viewed at the end of his career.
Yeah.
Because like how they view him and how they view Russell Westbrook is going to be determined on some of the guys who are like some of the best players if they don't win championships and they kind of come up in this statistic era.
I think Westbrook is one of the most
underrated in my opinion.
Dynamic players of all
he's
time.
unbelievable for what he did in NBA.
Man,
why do they treat him like he's not?
He's
like
demonized.
a top 7 point guard of all time.
I just don't understand it. I do, but I don't.
Crazy.
I do understand it because a lot of times, people might not just like his energy because he does come off with that junkyard dog energy, and sometimes that rubs people the wrong way.
But he's an amazing human being. Like,
We know that. You know that. We all know that.
They have
We
no
all
clue.
know that.
Westbrook is one of the nicest people in the
We
world.
all know that. I mean, he's got a reputation for being a selfish player.
It's how he's been portrayed by the media.
who
if we're
averaged a
honest.
triple-double. Who's like one of
An
the tops
entire
in the
season.
Who's
That's crazy.
multiple
They'll
seasons
say,
where
"Well,
he
we
averaged
don't
double.
like his type of assist. What does that even mean?
Yeah. But it'll be interesting on how, and I'm gonna just throw it all the way out there.
Yeah.
Like if Luka doesn't win a championship, it'll be interesting to see how they view him compared to Russell Westbrook and James Harden if he does not win a championship.
They still gonna give him all the praise in the world.
But that'll be a good thing because if they give him praise, then that should highlight those
Right.
guys as much.
Right.
Like I feel like all of them deserve, you know what I mean, all those good things that
They're all
that
eternal
they did.
names in NBA history, though.
Yeah, sure.
Hoopers.
What position was Jerry West?
Jerry West was a guard. He
Yeah.
was a lead guard.
It's a small forward, shooting guard.
Yeah, you know what? No, he would play the
Shooting.
one. He would play the one sometimes.
Okay,
You
so
know,
where
with
was his
shooting guard.
Yeah.
okay shooting guard? When we say D Wade, top 3 shooting guards of all time, right? And it's questionable. Obviously, you got Harden, right? Why do they forget about the logo? Like if you
Yeah,
ever look up
facts.
his stats, you might
Crazy
think,
stats.
Yeah.
He just wouldn't. He would always be on the back end of not winning the title.
Yeah.
but
Did-
like
has
he was
ever
like that.
won?
I'm not sure if Jerry. West
I think he
won a
won
chip.
one
I think he may have
late.
won one.
One
later in
late
his
where it
career.
wasn't his
Yeah.
team.
Well,
it was like he was
he
a
won
piece of it.
several championships as an executive.
Sure.
So
yes.
he is
But
a
that-
champion.
Yeah, but you know,
But like
know what I mean?
playing the
But
game,
as
I
a
think he
player.
won one late.
Yeah.
Because like all those teams where he was the main dude.
Yeah.
I don't think he ever won, but I think he won as a piece of another team. In his older years.
I just think it's always, difficult to compare the eras because, like, one, the rules changed, the way that the game was played changed, the talent changed.
Yeah.
We benefited from being able to see the things that make you successful. So we
Right.
had a better recipe. This generation has the total blueprint.
Total.
Right? So they're not like starting from scratch. So it's difficult, but I respect every era of the game.
Yeah.
But I will say, because I had to play against hand checking and things like that,
Right.
like, dude, it was way more difficult to play through that contact in the early, in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s.
Right.
It was so hard to hoop against that physicality, bro.
What would
It
your
was-
career look like if you were in the NBA now?
I mean, you can't really say.
of course,
like,
but just knowing what you know from a physicality standpoint and then the lack of physicality that you're able to play with.
yeah,
now.
like, I mean, it would have been easier to score more, get more assists. You would get more possessions. It was more. They have so much more freedom.
Yeah, I think guys like
Right now.
you, like in your career, would have probably took a step up, just because like
Combo guards are more
yeah,
valuable
yeah,
now than
like scoring guards
Yeah.
are like the thing.
Yeah,
like,
they're more
I think
valuable
that,
now.
Yeah, you would have definitely been in way higher than what you
Yeah,
were. For
I mean,
sure.
man, Jamal Crawford in this generation.
Crossover is crazy.
Imagine
Yeah,
can't
he's
touch.
great.
Like, you already couldn't really touch him when it was like hand checking. Like, it was hard to like put your hands on Jamal Crawford. Imagine they can't touch Jamal Crawford now. Oh my goodness.
Yes, sir.
Jay Crossover, one of those. Is he the most skilled guy with the ball that you've seen, or is there somebody more skilled?
Oh man, I mean, it's tough for me to say that. I think he's up there in the top 3 to 4. People sleep on Isaiah Thomas from Detroit.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
a
Zeke.
wizard with
Isaiah
that
Zeke was-
Zeke, and then obviously Kyrie.
Kyrie-
Irving.
Kyrie-
Kyrie's crazy.
Kyrie's on a whole different credit. Like, he's just different, bro. Like, he's probably one of the top 5 most skilled guys ever to me.
Yeah.
Wow.
I ain't mad at you saying that.
Yeah,
like,
skilled for sure.
Facts. Damn, Remy, boy, you done started
to be
another segment, bro. Hey, listen, man.
That's the
when you
third
get
co-host with Remy,
man,
what?
when you get some downtime, man, we would love to have you back.
No, absolutely.
We
We
would
should
love
go
to
do it-
come.
go
we would
do it
love-
at his
yeah,
crib.
We want to come.
Yeah.
We want to come to the gym,
Of course, man.
and you know what I mean, like kind of see what you do and highlight that a little bit.
Yeah.
And
I
Facts.
would, well, the door is open for NBA All-Star break.
Okay.
I would love for you guys to come
All right,
in.
fellas.
Yeah,
Check it out.
facts. Let's
Yep.
lock it in.
Yep. So let the guys know. I'll call Julian and get on your schedule. I
Yes,
got to get on your schedule
Wow,
now.
you
bro.
got to call
Don't
somebody
do
to get
that.
on his
Don't
schedule
do
now.
that, man.
Oh,
Don't do
Julian
that.
did a
Gone
great
big
job
time.
of making sure he was here today.
Gone
Yeah,
big
for sure,
time.
Yeah.
for
So you
sure.
want to go ahead and close out,
Yeah,
man?
let's go. Go check out all of his stuff. You know where to go get it. We'll be back Thursday with another episode of The Crossover. A fun show, man.
Yeah, man.
Remy,
it was
thanks
great,
for pulling
man.
up, bro. We
Appreciate
appreciate
you,
you.
It was so
Thank you,
good.
man.
Yeah,
It's
you
amazing.
Thank you,
boy,
man.
know I
Thank
love
you,
you,
man.
boy.
Love you too,
You
man.
already know.
We'll catch you guys
Family for life.
next time. Peace.
Appreciate it,
We
guys.
out.